I want to get into my second favorite matchup this week one. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish
Oh
going
yeah.
against Miami Hurricanes. It's the convicts versus the Catholics. You remember?
Oh yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't alive, but yeah, I've seen all the 30 for 30s.
Well, we were around during the early 2000s and whatnot. They were still battling out in the early 2000s, I think. But
Yeah. Well,
yes,
I wasn't I,
Catholics
I
versus
wasn't actively conscious, I should say.
yeah, we weren't tuned in to those feisty matchups back in the day like other people were.
Yeah.
But the convicts versus the Catholics, a lot of history in this matchup right here. Miami versus Notre Dame. Um, just another amazing matchup week one. Like college football, too many in week one. I don't like this many. I need like 2 or 3 games to focus on. You got like 5, 6, 7, 8 matchups that I want to watch, and you're making it difficult for me. I'm already trying to plan it out, so I don't really appreciate that. But Notre Dame versus Miami. Miami, Carson Beck coming over from Georgia. We can't wait to see it. We can't wait to see how he bounces back from his year last year where he kind of slipped off a little bit. He was a number one overall draft pick prediction going into the season, and then he did not have a great year. And we saw how it ended. He got hurt, and now he's over at Miami. Can't wait to see how he responds to all that and everything that happened over the offseason with him. Miami, their coach over there, can't think of his name off the top of my head, but coming over, he's been Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal at Miami. Been there for a few years now. It just seems that he keeps getting better and better at Miami. He started off, struggling, and each year they just keep seeming like they keep getting better. I think they found a good coach down there in Coral Gables, Florida. Cam Ward's no longer there, of course. He went to the Titans in the draft, but Carson Beck comes in, fills the role. Miami's talented. Can't wait to see how they do this year. They barely missed the playoff last year, as you'll remember, 9-3, or excuse me, 10-2, 10-2. But they lost like very late in the season, and that kind of kept them from making the final 12. As you'll remember, they lost to Syracuse late in the season. They also lost to Georgia Tech a couple weeks before that, and that's where their season kind of fell off. But they barely missed the playoff. I think they're going to be hungry this year. They're going to come back stronger, and they're going to want to right those wrongs. And then on the Notre Dame side, they got a new quarterback, Christian Carr, something like that. At Notre Dame, we'll see how he turns out. See how he comes into the fold. Marcus Freeman, the coach over there at Notre Dame, took him to the national championship last season. Lost to Ohio State, but what a run! Honestly, coming from losing to Northern Illinois in Week 3, and then winning the rest of your games, running through Indiana, running through Georgia, running through Penn State, getting to Ohio State, and then barely coming up short. Love to see that for them, and we'll see how they bounce back this year as well. And uh, Notre Dame versus Miami, Week 1. That's a tough pick right there. I ain't gonna lie, that's a tough pick. Uh, mm,
You want to know the odds?
I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I'm gonna take Notre Dame just
Okay.
because what we saw last year. We saw them go all the way to the end, all the way to the national championship. So it's kind of hard to pick against them. But as we saw, they folded early last season. So never know. They're going against a tough team. But I just trust Notre Dame a little bit more. I trust the consistency. I trust Marcus Freeman, and I think they'll come out on top. But it could go either way for sure. It could go either way.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, do you think Notre Dame wins or does Notre Dame win by 3? Because that's currently what Caesars has them at. Notre Dame minus 2.5, minus 128. I don't disagree with either of those bets for Notre Dame. I'm heavy on Notre Dame in this one.
Yeah, I could definitely see a walk off field goal for sure. Like that's yeah, I could see that line right there. So yeah, give me Notre Dame with a walk off field goal, and Miami has a good season. They bounce back. They still make the ACC championship. Notre Dame, they do what they do in the independent, but I think both of those teams will be playoff contenders for sure.
Yeah, and Miami only plus 118. If it's plus 118 versus minus 128, you're kind of looking at Notre Dame like I'm more heavy on Notre Dame at least winning the game. But yeah, in my opinion, you kind of hit everything right on the head. Again, two new quarterbacks. Good coaches in the last couple years for both teams. So this one's going to be another fun one, and it's Vegas has it really close. So I think Vegas is normally right, and Vegas says it's going to be a close game. So keep your eyes out for that one for sure. But